that's how it got started, really, was by my grandfather's influence, I suppose. He was in the print industry as he was a proofreader, really, a compositor, and his house was a bit like this, really. It's full of books, shelves, piles of books everywhere, and he was very into spotting any slight print errors, and that was his job. So he got to read hundreds and hundreds of books as a proofreader, and often he'd do Dickens books or find old Dickens books, and a couple he had were of Dickens and his life in Chatham, and he actually sort of hand wrote inside it places to see and places to go and a walk, following a walk that you can still do these days. So he gave it to me. So
did you have a favorite book as a child, like when you started reading during that time? Or it's not a fair question with Dickens, really, but do you remember having one that you really loved when you started?
Not when I was young. I suppose Oliver Twist and Christmas Carol, but if you ask a question now, then my answer would be Great Expectations, without a doubt. Mainly because it's based in and around this area, and you can go to the places and having the big advantage of living in the area, and so within 1 or 2 miles of the places mentioned in it, you can still walk and go and see the places. So that's I think it's almost like reinventing Christmas or enhancing Christmas, because it's this, you can't sort of change, well, it's almost like time travel, where he sort of goes to different periods, travels back and forth in time, and in the end he's a changed person, which is what it's all about. He's changed from a grumpy miser into a great benefit to the local community. So in this day and age of computer games and DVD players and iPads and iPods and all you name of the modern technology, it's nice with Kindle, for instance. You can get most of Dickens' books downloaded for free. So there's another generation now that can look at them. But it's how do you get them? This is the biggest thing with the Dickens Fellowship. How do you get younger people involved? Personally, I enjoy showing people around the area and seeing the actual locations that are depicted in his books, because he was a fantastic memory all the way through his life. He was a reporter for a lot of it in the early years. I'm not sure how much of it is pure imagination or how much of it is memory that he enhances and changes to various ways. He must have had a brain full of characters that he'd met over his life and places that he'd been to. What a memory he must have had to sort of bring about these things.
Do you have a favourite character in that, or a favourite section in that book?
Yes, I mean, my favourite is when he wakes up on Christmas morning, and the description of just how happy he is that things that he was thinking about that were going to be the future. Again, as I said before, I mean, they hadn't changed. He was back in reality, and then that day he hadn't missed Christmas. He was able to get out there and spend the rest of his life helping people and being a nice person. So, although a lot of people couldn't believe it at the start, he had to change, if you like, the getting back to humanity and being a nice person. I think that's probably the best part of the book. For me, anyway. I think one of the strange things about his life is his public life and his private life. The more you look into, you start reading books, and then you start reading perhaps his journalism or story of his life, and then when you get to read his letters, and he's writing a book, but he's writing letters to people at the same time, describing what he's doing and where he's getting his inspiration from, you realise just he doesn't sit down and write these things. He lives them while he's doing it. He sort of almost hides away like a recluse. He would say, for instance, he was either in his bedroom or if he was over in his chalet. He's got mirrors around the wall, and he would act out the parts, trying to get the facial expressions of what, and then he would try and describe it in the book. So I think that's the thing that sort of I find that the big difference and what's in his letters to the public image of him. He's writing here on the 25th of May 1868 from Gad's Hill to Mrs. James Fields, and in part of the story he's actually describing what it's like to be in the chalet. Diverse birds sing here all day and the nightingales all night. The place is lovely and in perfect order. I put 5 mirrors in the Swiss chalet where I write, and they reflect and refract in all kinds of ways. The leaves that are quivering at the windows, and the great fields of waving corn, and the sow-dotted river. My room is up amongst the branches of the trees, and the birds and butterflies fly in and out, and the green branches shoot in at the open windows, and the lights and shadows of the clouds come and go with the rest of the company. The scent of the flowers, and indeed of everything that is growing for miles and miles, is most delicious.